Have you ever felt like you were finally getting ahead, only to have everything ripped away in an instant? Sarah was there just last month. After years of grinding through $73,000 in student debt, her income-driven repayment plan finally gave her breathing room with manageable $387 monthly payments. For the first time since college, she could afford both rent and groceries. She even started that emergency fund we're all told we need. Then her phone buzzed with a notification that changed everything. Her next payment, $1,847, nearly 5 times what she'd been paying. Sarah called me crying, asking how this was even legal, and when I started digging into her story, I realized this isn't happening to just her. This is happening to millions of us. And what I found will make you understand that your financial struggles aren't your fault. They're by design. I need you to understand something that took me months to fully grasp. What you're living through right now isn't just about policy changes or bureaucratic mistakes. This is about a coordinated effort to extract maximum wealth from us at the exact moment when we should be building our financial foundation. The student loan industry, working with political interests, has engineered the perfect storm to keep us trapped in debt cycles for decades longer than our parents ever faced. And I'm going to show you exactly how they did it. Let me walk you through the income-driven repayment system that just exploded in millions of our faces. For over a decade, these plans promised us a lifeline when we needed it most. They told us to pay a percentage of our discretionary income, that our payments would be affordable based on what we actually earn, not some arbitrary number that ignores our financial reality. If you graduated during the recession like so many of us did, the Obama administration expanded these programs specifically to help us survive the worst job market since the Great Depression. They told us this was protection, a safety net designed to prevent default and financial ruin. But here's what they never told any of us. These income-driven plans were always designed to be temporary political tools, not permanent solutions. Every single program had built-in expiration dates, renewal requirements, and administrative discretion that could change everything overnight. The Department of Education, regardless of which party controls it, maintains the power to modify, suspend, or eliminate these programs with minimal notice to us. What appeared to be financial relief was actually a sophisticated debt trap with a timer, and we were never supposed to see it coming. The recent changes didn't happen in a vacuum. Policy shifts in income-driven repayment programs have created massive payment increases for borrowers who thought they had stable, predictable payments. These weren't administrative errors or unintended consequences.
The Department of Education knew exactly how many borrowers would face payment shock when these programs were modified or eliminated. They calculated the average payment increases, projected the number of potential defaults, and estimated the additional revenue collection. This wasn't an accident. This was policy designed to increase student loan revenue, and millennials are bearing the financial burden. Here's how the psychological manipulation works. First, they offered relief when we were most desperate. Fresh out of college, facing a job market that offered unpaid internships, where previous generations found career-starting salaries, we gratefully accepted any program that made our debt manageable. We planned our entire financial lives around these reduced payments. We took apartments we could afford, bought cars that fit our budgets, and made life decisions based on the payment amounts we were promised. Then they waited. They waited until we had established our lives, taken on additional responsibilities, maybe started families or bought homes based on our income-driven payment amounts. They waited until changing our entire financial structure would be devastating, not just inconvenient. Only then did they spring the trap. Suddenly, payments that were $300 become $3,000.
Monthly obligations that were manageable become impossible. And when we can't pay, we're labeled irresponsible, financially illiterate, or entitled. The timing reveals the true strategy. These payment increases are happening as millennials enter their prime earning and spending years. We're the generation that should be buying houses, starting families, and driving economic growth. Instead, we're sending thousands of dollars monthly to loan servicers, money that would otherwise circulate through the economy. This isn't just about collecting debt. This is about suppressing an entire generation's economic power during our most productive decades. The loan servicers are making record profits while borrowers struggle. Companies like Navient, Great Lakes, and Fed Loan Servicing have seen their revenue streams explode as payment amounts skyrocket. These aren't neutral administrative companies processing payments. They're profit-driven corporations with every incentive to maximize the amount and duration of debt collection. When your payment jumps from $400 to $4,000, their commission and servicing fees jump proportionally. But the real manipulation runs deeper. The student loan system was redesigned to be incomprehensible intentionally. Try to understand your actual loan balance, the interest calculation method, or how payments are applied to principal versus interest. The complexity isn't accidental. It's designed to prevent borrowers from making informed decisions about refinancing, consolidation, or payoff strategies. When you can't understand your debt, you can't effectively fight it. The political cover story focuses on fiscal responsibility and ensuring borrowers pay their fair share. Politicians claim these changes prevent taxpayer burden and restore accountability to higher education financing. But examine who actually benefits from these payment increases. It's not taxpayers. The additional revenue goes directly to loan servicers, collection agencies, and the Department of Education's administrative budget. This is wealth extraction disguised as fiscal policy. Meanwhile, the psychological toll is devastating and intentional. The sudden payment increases create financial panic, forcing borrowers into survival mode, where long-term financial planning becomes impossible. When you're scrambling to cover a payment that quintupled overnight, you're not building wealth, starting businesses, or making investments that could threaten established economic hierarchies. You're trapped in reactive financial management, exactly where they want you. The generational aspect is crucial. Baby boomers largely attended college when tuition was affordable and student debt was manageable. Generation X faced rising costs, but had access to more generous aid programs and a stronger job market upon graduation. Millennials got the worst of everything: skyrocketing tuition, reduced aid, terrible job prospects, and now payment systems designed to maximize extraction during our peak earning years. This connects to every other millennial financial struggle we've discussed on this channel. We can't buy houses because student loan payments consume our down payment savings. We delay starting families because we can't afford both childcare and loan payments. We can't start businesses because our cash flow goes to debt service instead of investment capital. The student loan crisis isn't separate from our other economic challenges. It's the foundation that makes everything else impossible. The solution isn't just policy change, though that's necessary. The solution starts with understanding that this system is working exactly as designed. Your struggle isn't personal failure, it's systematic extraction. When millions of borrowers face identical payment shocks simultaneously, that's not coincidence or administrative error. That's coordinated economic policy designed to benefit debt collectors at the expense of an entire generation's financial future. What can you do right now? First, document everything. Screenshot your payment history, save all correspondence, and create records of how these changes affect your finances. Second, Connect with other borrowers facing similar situations. The power dynamic shifts when millions of people understand they're facing the same manufactured crisis. Third, refuse to internalize shame about debt that was designed to be unpayable under current economic conditions.
The student loan explosion hitting millennials right now isn't about education financing or fiscal responsibility.
It's about wealth extraction and generational suppression disguised as policy. They're betting we'll accept this quietly, adjust our lives around impossible payments, and continue transferring our economic power to debt servicing companies. But when you understand the system, you can begin to resist it. And resistance starts with refusing to believe this is normal, necessary, or your fault.